HOA queen kicked me out of my own pool. So I slowly destroyed her reputation. It was supposed to be my day, a quiet Saturday, sun peeking through the oak trees, and my pool, my escape from the madness of the week, finally warm enough for a long float. I had a mango smoothie in one hand, a waterproof speaker in the other, and the plan was simple. Relax. Just as I stepped outside, ready to slide into the calm water, a voice like nails on a chalkboard shattered the moment. "Excuse me, this area is reserved for an HOA event. You need to leave." I turned, fully expecting a joke. Instead, there stood a woman I'd never seen before, dressed like she was auditioning for Real Housewives of Georgia. Giant sunglasses, clipboard, wide-brimmed hat. Behind her, music played, guests sipped wine coolers, and a giant banner hung across my fence. "Welcome to Dana's Neighborhood Mixer." I blinked. My own patio had become someone else's party. "You must be new here," I said, half laughing. "This is my property." Dana, yes, her name was Dana, clicked her pen and pursed her lips. "That's irrelevant. The HOA approved the event. You're not on the list, and your presence is making people uncomfortable." I was so stunned I couldn't even react. My patio furniture was rearranged. My towels were shoved into a plastic bin in the corner. Even my Bluetooth speaker had been replaced with some cheap-looking sound system blasting yacht rock like we were on a discount cruise. When I told her again that this was my home and the HOA had zero jurisdiction over my property, Dana replied without blinking, "Under Code 32A, shared spaces can be utilized to foster community. We're not drawing lines between neighbors, are we?" That's when I knew this wasn't just rudeness. This was a full-blown delusion. Here's the kicker. My house had existed before the HOA even formed. My lot was grandfathered out of all their nonsense. No fees, no rules, and certainly no permission to host some suburban circus. I stormed inside, grabbed the deed from my kitchen drawer, and came back out with it highlighted, flagged, and ready for battle. Dana didn't even flinch. "We can talk to the board next week," she said, flipping her hair. "Right now, you're disrupting a community event." Then came the private security. Hired goons, not cops, telling me to leave my own backyard. I laughed so hard I almost cried. These men, in matching polos and earpieces, actually tried to escort me off my own lawn. So I said fine, let's play. I led them to the side gate, pretending to cooperate, then quietly yanked down the private event sign zip-tied to my fence, tossed it straight into the trash. Then I texted Garrett, the actual HOA president, someone I trust. His response? "That event is not authorized. Document everything." And I did. Photos, videos, audio, everything. Then I remembered the old wrench in my pool shed, the one that connects to the drain valve under the deck. I slipped away from the crowd and gave it a gentle twist. Just enough to start a slow, steady drain. Nothing obvious, just subtle sabotage. Back at the party, people laughed, danced, and toasted Dana like she was some visionary. One guy even called her the soul of the neighborhood. I just stood in the corner, smiling. The shallow end of the pool was already ankle-deep. A kid complained about scraping his knee on the bottom. Someone's float deflated onto the dry surface. Dana's smile started to falter. She stomped over to me, whisper yelling, "What the hell did you do?" I sipped my smoothie. "Isn't this what you wanted? A community bonding moment?" The pool kept draining, and so did her reputation. Guests started murmuring, then whispering, then leaving. One woman said she was told this was the HOA clubhouse. Another asked why Dana had lied. I raised my voice just enough to be heard. She never had permission. This isn't even HOA property. This is my home. You've all been trespassing. Boom! People froze. Phones came out. The DJ unplugged his gear. The shrimp cocktail crashed to the ground. Dana's fantasy collapsed in real time, like a tent in a windstorm. And I just stood there, hands behind my back, letting it happen. The next morning, Dana's humiliation was already online. Someone had posted footage of her screaming while the water drained behind her. The title? HOA Karen Gets Owned in Her Own Party. Dramatic music included. The HOA held an emergency meeting that same day. Dana was stripped of any event planning authority. My property was declared completely off-limits. Forever. And Dana? She drove by slowly that afternoon. Just stared. No sunglasses. Just a ghost in a luxury SUV. So I nailed a sign to my fence. Private pool. Not HOA property. Trespassers will be drained. Now here's the part that may spark debate. Was I petty? Yes. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. But this wasn't just about pool water. It was about respect, about boundaries, about people like Dana who weaponize community to control others. Later, some neighbors called me a hero. Others said I went too far. One even warned, "You know this isn't over, right?" Maybe not. But here's the thing. I didn't yell. I didn't file lawsuits. I didn't throw punches. I used strategy, silence, and just a twist of the wrist. And you know what? It worked. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think I crossed a line by draining the pool during her event? Or did Dana get exactly what she deserved? Have you ever had a Karen try to take over your space or your boundaries? Tell me in the comments. Let's talk about it. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you think HOA drama needs more accountability and a little bit of chlorine.